Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into a really fascinating topic.
Absolutely.
The history of games and sports. I mean, you often think of your favorite pastimes as modern, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But the roots go back thousands of years.
We've gathered some incredible sources, tomb paintings from Egypt, detailed accounts of Mesoamerican ballgames.
Yeah, amazing stuff. And these sources show how games really capture the ideas, the worldviews of their cultures.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack these surprising origins and the enduring impact of human play.
Show how connected our modern games are to these ancient traditions.
Right. So what does all this tell us about, well, us? About human nature? Let's find out.
Indeed. I mean, games are just such an integral part of human culture. Some even predate, complex societies as we think of them.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. They're like these formalized expressions of play. They offer competition, shared rules, enjoyment.
Yeah, more than just fun.
Much more.
Right.
What's truly fascinating is how they evolved from simple leisure activities to complex rituals, teaching tools, even political statements that really reflect humanity's deepest values.
Okay, so after setting the stage, let's dive into something you mentioned, the surprising fact that some of the earliest formal games, well, they weren't physical.
Right.
They were mind games played sitting down. What was so compelling about strategy and chance back then?
It's a great question. It makes you ask, what is a game if not just running around? And you see board games developing almost inevitably. The earliest we know is Senet from Egypt.
Senet, right? How old?
Maybe 3000 BC.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine that 5,000 years ago.
Wow.
And its pieces represented human souls moving based on throwing sticks or bones.
Like dice.
Sort of early dice.
Yeah.
It reflected this journey through the afterlife. It tells you so much about their beliefs woven right into a game.
That's truly remarkable, a game as a cosmic journey. And not long after Mesopotamia, right? Around 2500 BC.
Yep, the city of Ur.
Our sources show a game board that looks a bit like backgammon.
It does, yeah. And like Senet, it involved a large element of luck. Movement depended on numbers thrown.
From sticks first, then later proper six-sided dice.
Exactly. Dice developed around 2000 BC. So for ages, yeah, the throw of the dice dictated a lot of the play.
Fate, almost.
Exactly. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, these weren't just for fun. The royal game of Ur, for instance. It had astronomical significance. It could even be used for fortune-telling.
No way.
Yeah. It shows how play wasn't separate, It was integrated into their cosmology, their social structure.
And who played? Just anyone?
Well, we see evidence that games like Senet and Ur were often pastimes of the elite. Sometimes given as diplomatic gifts, even.
Status symbols.
Pretty much. Though, lower classes might play too, maybe on boards scratched into stone or just the ground. So demonstrating status could be as important as entertainment.
And yet something profound shifted, didn't it? Away from pure luck.
Definitely.
Fast forward to India, maybe 6th century AD.
Right, that's when we see chess evolving. Or what became chess, Chaturanga, meaning quadripartite or army. Yeah. Those pieces represented the 4 branches of an army.
So it was used for war strategies.
Seems like it, yeah. A way to practice tactics.
Yeah.
And this is pivotal because the Persian term for the end,
Shama,
the king is dead, that became our checkmate, still used today. Amazing link.
Wow, so that's the shift.
Exactly. What's fascinating is that transformation from pure luck games to deep strategy, Go or Waiki.
From China, right. Introduced to Japan later.
Yeah, around AD 735 to Japan. Played on this huge grid, 361 intersections. You're trying to surround your opponent's stones.
That sounds complex.
Oh, incredibly. This shift from chance to calculation, it mirrors humanity's own evolving complexity,
How so?
As societies got more structured, so did our play. It reflects this growing emphasis on foresight, planning. Vital for governance, warfare, everything.
So games weren't just reflecting society, they were maybe helping to shape it.
Could be. I mean, in ancient China, Go was one of the 4 essential arts for a scholar gentleman.
Really? Like calligraphy or painting?
Exactly. They even used skill exams in Goan to qualify candidates for the bureaucracy.
Games moved from reflecting destiny to actively shaping outcomes through pure intellect.
Precisely. And then you get dominoes and playing cards, also from China, around the 9th century AD.
Domino seems simpler.
Yeah. Initially solid pieces representing dice throws, but playing cards, that's different.
Thin, light.
And that double identity number and suit. Perfect for concealment, bluffing, all the subtle tricks.
The psychology comes in.
Absolutely. They quickly became the ideal tool for gamblers. A whole new dimension.
Okay, so from the quiet contemplation of the board, let's shift gears. Let's move to the roar of the crowd, the clash of bodies.
Physical sports.
It seems obvious, right? Running, jumping, fighting. They must be as old as humanity itself.
Pretty much primal urges, yeah.
But when did they become actual structured competition?
Well, the first clear evidence we see is in settled communities. Take ancient Egypt again, around 2000 BC.
Okay.
We have these wall paintings at Beni Hassan, dated about 1850 BC. They show loads of wrestling pictures.
And they look familiar.
Uncannily. Holds and falls still used today. It makes you wonder how much the fundamentals have really changed.
Any other examples?
Yeah, in the tomb of an Egyptian child, they found a set of skittles. Basically like modern 10-pin bowling, in principle.
Wow. But who are these sports for? Were they like community events?
Probably not widely at first. These athletic festivals in Egypt and also Mesopotamia seem limited to the royal court.
Ah, like the board games?
Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Primarily demonstrations of the pharaoh's or king's prowess. There's little evidence they recognized outstanding athletes outside that elite bubble.
Okay, so initially, physical games were more royal display than public competition. That changes dramatically with the ancient Greeks, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Big change.
By the 8th century BC, they made competitive athletics almost a religion.
It really was central. And that passion led to the world's first great athletic fixture, the Olympic Games.
Traditionally 776 BC, right? Held every 4 years at Olympia.
That's the date, yeah. And what stands out is how this athletic event became a pillar of their civilization.
It started small.
Very small. Initially, just a one-day meeting, one event, a running race, the length of the stadium, about 200 meters.
That's it.
That was it at first. But by the 7th century BC, it expanded hugely. Discuss javelin, long jump, boxing, wrestling, even a pentathlon.
And what did they win? Big prizes.
Just a simple garland. Fresh olive leaves. That was the prize.
Seriously.
Seriously. It wasn't about money. It was primarily a religious festival honoring Zeus. But it was so important. Well, a truce was automatically imposed on all warfare in Greece during the game.
A truce for sports.
Yep. Allowed athletes safe passage. It just shows the unique power of shared ritual and competition to, transcend conflict, at least temporarily.
That's a powerful testament to the unifying force of sport. And speaking of high stakes, let's connect this to the Mesoamerican Ballgame.
Oh, yeah.
ōllamalīztli. Right, ōllamalīztli to the Aztecs. Played since at least 1650 BC, our sources say it was far more than just a sport.
Far more, indeed. The ball itself was solid rubber. Could weigh up to 9 pounds.
9 pounds? How did they hit it?
Often with their hips. Imagine the bruises. And the ball courts. Massive stone structures, central to their cities.
So it was important architecturally, too.
Hugely. But the meaning, profound ritual significance, often a proxy for warfare.
A substitute for war.
Sometimes, yes.
Right.
And particularly in later classic eras, it was linked with human sacrifice.
Sacrifice. Linked to a game.
Yeah. What this reveals about their worldview is staggering. The game was like a cosmic drama. The ball could represent the sun, or maybe a vanquished enemy.
And the courts.
Considered portals to the underworld. It was this way of engaging directly with life and death, an ultimate expression of their beliefs.
It certainly sounds intense. Our sources even mention the Aztecs held these games in city wards, markets, and the betting?
Oh, the betting was huge. Chroniclers reported people selling their children to bet, even staking themselves and becoming slaves.
Wow.
So yes, deep ritual meaning, but also this very human, sometimes desperate side.
What a contrast. And after the Spanish conquest, Cortés sent players to Spain.
He did. In 1528, sent a troop of Aztec ball players to perform for Charles V. Can you imagine the Europeans seeing those bouncing rubber balls for the first time?
Must have blown their minds. A real clash of civilizations on the court.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered chance, strategy, ritual, but what about the team sports we recognize today? Where do they fit in?
Good question. Where does that collaboration start?
The earliest organized team sport that, recognizably survives seems to be polo.
Right. Persia, 6th century BC, likely came out of imperial cavalry training. Makes sense, right? Horses, teamwork.
It does. And Persia seems important for team games generally.
Seems so. If we connect the dots, they also seem to be the originators of hockey. There's this sculpted relief, 5th century BC Athens.
Showing hockey.
Well, it shows 6 young men with curved sticks, poised for play. Looks very much like it.
Huh.
It suggests the Persians were maybe the team players of the ancient world, developing games needing synergy, cooperation, not just individual skill.
It's surprising, isn't it? Thinking of these quite sophisticated team sports having such ancient roots.
It really is.
And then you have the, well, more primitive team games. Ancestors of rugby or American football, maybe?
Yeah, where an object was carried, not struck, through defenses. More rough and tumble.
Like that Haxie Hood game in England.
Exactly, the annual game in Lincolnshire. Scores of men struggling to get a leather cylinder to their local pub. Pure chaos, basically.
Sounds like it.
And the Romans played a game called harpastum, handball. Lots of pushing and pulling described. Less refined, more about sheer will.
So these chaotic games existed alongside the more structured ones.
Right. And what's fascinating is how all these games, fun or ritual, laid the groundwork for modern sports, eventually demanding rules, structure.
Like with combat sports. Boxing, for example.
Perfect example. After its inclusion in the Greek Olympics, it got brutalized in Roman circuses.
How so?
Metal studs on fists, fights often to the death, just spectacle. After the Roman Empire fell, boxing pretty much vanished for over 1,000 years.
A lost sport.
Totally forgotten. But then...
Here's where it gets interesting again, right? The revival.
Exactly. 18th century London. Prize fighting.
Bare knuckle.
Oh, yeah. Early bouts had few rules. Mixed wrestling, bare fists. Pretty rough.
Until someone stepped in?
Figures like Jack Broughton, around the 1730s. He devised accepted rules, like rounds continued until a man went down.
Okay.
A 30-second rest. And crucially, no hitting a man when he was down.
Basic fairness starting to emerge.
Right. He even opened an academy to teach the mystery of boxing, that holy British art. This move from chaos to codified rules. It's a recurring theme, isn't it?
It really is.
And you have to wonder, how do these standards emerge and actually stick?
Good point. Did it keep evolving?
Yeah. The London prize ring rules of 1839 formalized things more. Outlawed kicking, gouging, headbutting, biting. Nasty stuff.
Getting cleaner.
Slowly. But the biggest innovation, Queensberry rules, 1867.
Ah, the modern rules, basically.
Pretty much. Padded gloves, 3-minute rounds, the 10-second knockdown count, no wrestling.
Padded gloves must have seemed strange then.
Initially considered somewhat effeminate, believe it or not.
Huh, really?
Yeah. But these rules gradually prevailed. They shaped 20th century boxing. It's a clear case of society collectively agreeing on boundaries to make a contest fair and, well, survivable.
And beyond combat sports, other games were getting formalized too. Card games.
Definitely. Whist, for example, originated in England, became definitive with Edmund Hoyle's short treatise in 1742.
A book codified it.
Essentially, yes. It became the most widely played skill-based card game until bridge took over. So a single book could elevate a pastime into a serious pursuit with agreed mechanics.
Fascinating. What else?
We also see specialized games like billiards rising. 16th century originally, played with just 2 balls, struck by something like a hockey stick.
Not the cues we know.
No, that came later. By the 19th century, you get rubber cushions, slate beds.
Yeah.
It became serious enough for acknowledged champions. Paved the way for snooker eventually.
It shows that continuous drive for refinement, for mastery.
Exactly.
And who could forget horse racing? That has ancient roots too, right?
Races existed in classical times, yeah.
Yeah.
But the modern form, the one we know, that really developed in England from the 17th century.
Driven by royalty.
Figures like Charles II were huge enthusiasts. And the sport quickly linked itself to gambling. Big time.
Ah, the betting angle again.
Always.
Martha?
And that led to this almost academic thoroughness in studying horse pedigrees.
Get an edge on the betting.
Precisely.
Huh.
Which established the whole concept of the thoroughbred. It all comes down to 3 key stallions imported between 1690 and 1730.
It's amazing how a desire for better odds could drive what's basically early genetic science.
Isn't it just the practical driving the scientific?
What an incredible journey we've taken through the whole history of games and sport. Ancient Egyptian board games, symbolizing the soul's journey.
Right, Senate.
To the brutal spectacle of the Mesoamerican Ballgame with the rubber balls and human sacrifice.
Quite the range.
We've seen how deeply ingrained play is in human culture. It's everywhere.
It truly highlights how games are so much more than just leisure, aren't they?
Yeah.
They've been tools for teaching, for social bonding, for resolving conflict, even, as we saw, connecting with the cosmos.
That evolution from simple pebbles or bones to these complex rules and global professional competitions, it's remarkable.
It reflects our collective drive for order, competition, meaning.
And as we saw with boxing, its path from Roman arenas to London prize fighting, or how that ancient Indian game Pachisi transformed into Ludo and snakes and ladders, games kids still play everywhere.
Exactly. The past echoes in our present in these surprising ways.
These aren't just isolated historical facts. They feel like threads, connecting us back to these fundamental human desires for challenge, belonging, expression.
Which makes you think, doesn't it? If games have been so fundamental to human development, reflecting our societies, our beliefs, our values for millennia,
Yeah.
what are the games we obsess over today? You know, esports, fantasy leagues, everything. What do they say about us right now and the future we're maybe building?
Something to chew on for your next game night, perhaps.
Definitely food for thought.
We hope this deep dive has given you a fresh perspective on the profound history behind the games you love. Until next time, keep exploring.